guys, welcome back to another episode of The Mind of Reese. I am so happy you're here, and if you want to just take a moment really quick and just comment, like, subscribe, all the good stuff if you're on, Apple or Spotify, or if you're on YouTube, go ahead and comment all the good stuff. I just love hearing from you guys, and you guys let me know what you guys want to hear, and a lot of times I get a lot of my content ideas from you, so the more you respond, the better for me, so that I can keep creating all the stuff you guys like hearing about. And I also love all of the DMs you guys send me. You guys are mostly on Instagram when it comes to sending me messages and things like that. I just want to say thank you so much for doing that and for taking the time out of your day to say such kind things about my podcast. I'm really, really stoked that you guys love it, and it makes me super happy to do it. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a rush, stressed out trying to do all the things that I do, but then whenever I come here and sit in the seat and able to just basically feel like I'm chatting with you one-on-one, giving you a bit of one-on-one coaching, a little one-on-one love and motivation, it always makes me really stoked. So yeah, thank you for that. Just wanted to take the time to say thank you. But yeah, let's keep it moving. Today I kind of want to talk about current circumstances and how we handle them. If you live in California, I don't know if you do, but a couple of days ago, California, some counties were shut down again. And unfortunately, it could be a bit annoying, especially when you are like me. If you are like me in the situation where COVID really hasn't affected me, my life, I keep very to myself as it is anyway. And so for someone to tell me that I can no longer work, it could be disheartening. And the reason why I feel like this is a topic that we all have to talk about, or that I would like to talk about anyway, is because I've been noticing how many DMs I've been getting of frustration of how they don't even know where their business is going to go because we don't understand where the world is going to go and how the world is changing and our circumstances are changing. And I found this really odd for me because even though everything going on around the world it feels like it's maybe stunting my business or maybe stopping me in some sort of way, but it never really disheartens me. It never makes me feel like I'm going to be stopped. And the reason why I had to question myself on this is because I started to realize that a lot of times we tend to identify ourselves from external perspectives and from what's going on, circumstances, what's going on outside of us. Because when we identify ourselves, let's say, I identify myself as a tattoo artist or as a creative or as an artist or as a mother or whatever, I can identify myself with all these things. But yet, let's say, for instance, as a tattoo artist, I essentially, quote unquote, need another person in order for me to identify as a tattoo artist. If I'm not tattooing, then I'm not a tattoo artist. So in all actuality, what I'm doing right there is identifying myself with external circumstances, which is something that I choose and have chosen over time not to believe, because my external circumstances do not define who I am as a person or what I believe about myself as a person. I don't identify with I'm a tattoo artist. That is something that I do. That is an occupation. But what if my job was taken away from me? What then? As of right now, what now? What do I do now? And I'd like to think I'm the kind of person that likes to visualize my future as a woman of positivity, as positive outcome, as a woman that sees possibility. I do identify myself as a woman that sees possibility. And those beliefs that I have within me, that identifies me, that defines who I am. Not everything that's going on, not the things I cannot control, the people, the circumstances, the world, the virus, the COVID, whatever else is going on around me. I can choose what I think, and therefore I can choose what I feel. And I could choose what to believe. And what I believe about myself defines who I am, not these external things, not my job, not another person, not someone saying something nice to me, not someone saying something mean to me that might affect my circumstance or situation, but I can always choose what I want to think and therefore what I want to feel in any given situation. And so what I'm saying is that when something happens that we don't have control over, we feel out of control. And that's when you realize you're allowing your external circumstances to define you, because you are allowing the external outside of you control how you feel. And then there comes the responsibility aspect of it, where take responsibility for your thoughts, because your thoughts are creating your feelings. And if you identify yourself with the external, oh, this is out of control, therefore I'm out of control, then that's what you're going to believe. And you can believe whatever you want to believe. You want to believe you're out of control, then that's okay. But most people, when they feel out of control, they try to gain control again and don't understand how. And what I want to encourage is the how is the thought. The how to gain control back is to change your thought and to dig a bit deeper and to change the belief about yourself. You don't have to identify yourself with your job or with anything else. You can identify yourself as the beliefs that you believe about yourself. And that's the identity part. So, I like to think of it like this. It's like, can you imagine yourself in 3 years? Can you picture yourself 3 years from now, what you will be doing? And if you feel like you can't, it's most likely that you are identifying yourself with the outside circumstances, what's happening in the world. Everything's based on externals. So you look outside the world to define you right now, but you also look outside your world to define your future. And that feels a bit debilitating to me. That feels as though I'm giving my power away to something else or to someone else. No, thank you. No, thanks. I'll say next, please. I will take a different card, please. Who do I have to talk to not have someone else take my power, take my control? Because in all actuality, we have the control. We have the control to choose to be out of control. We have the control to choose what feelings we have, what we believe about the circumstance, what we believe about ourselves in any situation. Because you guys, this isn't the only thing that's ever happened to us, right? Like, I've lived 33 years. I've lived a pretty awesome, hard life. I've been through a lot. Great, not so great. Lots of stuff. And those things, yes, I can take whatever from those things, and I can believe whatever I want to believe from those past experiences and take them with me to define me. Or if it no longer serves me, I can let that go and choose to believe something else. This is what I'm getting at. So the way I imagine this is that how you can define yourself or your future self, what you believe about yourself, where you're going to be about in your future 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, is doing what you always do. For me, visualizing, I'm going to visualize my future regardless of the circumstance, because in all actuality, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm still going to visualize. But since for some reason, this particular thing that's affecting us all, and yes, you can feel the energy buzzing in the air, it does hit me home, especially if you're aware of energy and you're aware of your surroundings and you're very open to vibrations and things like that. And I'm very empathetic, like I've said before, so I can feel a lot of things, but I can also protect that as well. I can protect myself from those feelings. I could feel them, but not have to take them with me. And so when you feel those things, you feel this energy like, oh my gosh, the world is out of control. That means I'm out of control and everybody's out of control and I don't know what to do. I don't have a job. They just cut me off. Well, you do. You're choosing not to know what to do. You're choosing these questions and these beliefs to allow yourself to do whatever it is that you want to feel and however you want to be, to stay stagnant, not do anything, keep in inaction. But where my mind tends to change, in which I'm actually quite stoked on and something I've been practicing for a very long time, is that things that I believe about myself is about the possibility in a situation, the positive outcome of any given situation. That's why when I project myself in 3 years, it doesn't matter what my circumstance is going to be in 3 years. I might not make 3 years, but I'm not going to think that. I'm going to believe what I want to believe. I'm going to believe I'm going to make it, and I'm going to believe that I'm going to be a millionaire, that I'm going to own a couple of tattoo shops, that I'm going to be tattooing my sweet ass off. I'm going to have a life coaching school, helping others. I want to help others, motivate others. I want to teach people. I want to educate. I want to motivate. These are the things that I see myself doing in 3, 5, 10 years. But hey, if it happens, it happens. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen in 3 years. But again, I don't have to, because my circumstances do not define me. They are not my identity. My job is not my identity. Yeah, okay, what if this, and that? Well, what if this, and that? When it happens, we will get there when we get there. That's how I feel about that. I always find myself trying to be the example of what is possible. and asking the most of myself no matter what is going on with my family, no matter what is going on outside of me, whether or not I'm making enough money, whether I am making a lot of money, whether I'm quote unquote successful, whether I quote unquote failed. You make all those things mean something, all the externals mean something about you, then you really don't know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, then you don't know what you're capable of. Because if you decide that you're going to believe that your life is out of control, it will be. What we believe, we perceive. What we perceive, we attract. And when you attract that kind of energy towards you, of course you are going to see more of it. It's like my famous Jeep story. I always say, the moment I wanted to buy a Jeep, I saw Jeeps everywhere. I saw them everywhere. And I finally got a Jeep, and now I see Jeeps all the time. I'm Jeep waving everybody. Jeep wave. That's what I do. And it goes for everything else in life. If you believe that something is going to happen, if you believe you are out of control, you will be out of control. If you believe you are defined by the circumstance, the external circumstance of what's going on, you believe you're defined, well, now I'm no longer a tattoo artist because I can't tattoo. I don't necessarily believe that's true. For me, I will always be a tattoo artist whether or not I'm tattooing on a person, on a piece of skin, on a piece of fruit, on a dead body. I don't care what it is. I can identify myself as a creative. I can always know what's true for me is that I will always believe that something is possible no matter the circumstance. That is true for me, 100%. I don't have to be defined as a woman. I don't have to be defined as as a tattoo artist, as a kind person. I don't have, because all of those things are defined on externals. I'm only a tattoo artist if I'm tattooing on skin, but I can't tattoo right now. That can't happen. So I'm not a tattoo artist anymore. Okay, let's scratch that. And you go down the list, and then you try to figure out what you do believe, because you don't want to be determined by everything external. Because once you don't have that, then what? You're not defined by your success. That's why we have so many people out there in this world that we see successful and they're miserable, and then we see people that aren't making the amount of money as these miserable, successful people, and they are awesomely happy. It's because they choose that. They choose their thoughts and therefore their feelings and therefore their reactions and actions. And then therefore that creates the result. What result do you want in this situation? When you start asking that question, that's when possibility loves to open its beautiful doors and try to show you what is possible. And I'm not saying whatever you're feeling is invalid. Like I said, everything you feel is valid. But you can choose to revel in that feeling. You can choose to wade in that water of feeling miserable or depressed and things like that. I believe that we have those emotions for a reason. I believe that we need to utilize those emotions for a reason, because at the end of the day, we need the dichotomy. We need the opposite to realize how good shit really can be. It's not always going to be happy days. It's not like that for me. It's not like that for anyone. I might seem all the happy all the time, but trust me, I do my own coaching for myself. I get coached. I have all these things that I do for myself in order for me to realize that the thought that I'm thinking that is creating this feeling for me is not serving me. How do I change it? What do I need? What can I believe that will get me in the thought process that I want to be in? And then we can go from there. And that's what I believe about myself. That's how I identify myself. I don't identify myself with COVID. I don't identify myself with the fact that I gotta wear a mask. I don't identify myself with this new normal nonsense. Like that new normal nonsense. This is normal. This is life, people. This is life. How do you want to live it? How do you want yourself to be defined in it? Do you want to be the person that felt out of control and allowed everything outside of them to come inside of them and be that? Hell no, not for me. Or are you going to be the person that's like, okay, this shit's out of control. What are my options? What can I choose to believe today? And you can do it step by step, moment by moment. Truly. The question I want you to ask yourself is, how do you define yourself as a person? Without everything outside of you, without your job, without money, without your family, without everything. Who do you define yourself as a person? What is the constant? What is that constant? This is how you can define yourself in the middle of cray-cray nonsense going on right now. How do you want to define yourself? It's just what is true no matter what. What is consistently true for you? And so what is true for me are the decisions I'm going to make about what I'm going to think. That's true for me. It doesn't have to be true for you. That's what's true for me. And you know what? It helps me because I don't want to think that I'm out of control just because the rest of the world's out of control. I don't want to think that I'm out of control because my artists think the world is out of control. I don't want to be defined by anything outside of me. I don't want to be defined by my Instagram, how many followers I have, all those things, Instagram marketing, your business. I don't want my business life or my business to define me as a person. Yes, I'm a go-getter. Yes, I will do anything. But you could put me, the things I believe about myself, my ethics, every little belief I have about me, you could put me in any position and I will thrive because I choose that. I believe that in me. That's why I don't define myself as only a tattoo artist or as only a coach or as only an Instagram marketer for tattoo artists or whatever. I don't define myself as a good friend or all these things. Like, that is the reason why a lot of my relationships with people or with my business or with money are what I believe on a healthy path, because I choose to believe who I am first in that relationship before it becomes, not the external. I'm not this way because this person's that way. I'm not this way because my business is that way. It doesn't define my success, like I've said before in the past. My success is not defined by how good or how much money I make or how good my business looks on paper. My success is defined by what I think about myself. And I think I am a successful person. I am innately successful. That's why I say you can put me in any situation, COVID, and I will figure it out. I will thrive. But that's what I believe about me. So what do you believe about you? That's the question we have now, because I get a lot of DMs. You guys are really freaked out, and I get that shit. It sucks. And a lot of people aren't showing how much it sucks online. A lot of people aren't showing how depressed that this is actually making them, how isolated that they feel, how all of these things can conjure up these feelings. But what do you want to serve you? If those feelings or thoughts are serving you, then have them. But you wouldn't be coming to me online through DMs and emails if they were, because you're asking me for help. You're asking me, how do I think a different thought? Not actually asking me that question, but you should be asking me that question. The question you're asking me is, what do I do, Reese? I'm out of a job. You got it in you to figure all of that out. Everybody does. Every single one of you does. Every single one of you has the power to believe whatever you want to believe. Thank goodness. Thank fucking goodness. Because at the end of the day, I don't want anybody trying to tell me what I can and cannot believe. That's what I have control of. I believe. I can control my thought. I can then therefore my feelings. That creates the action, and that creates my result. I don't have control over my results. I don't have control over my circumstances, but I do have control over my thoughts. So what do you want your thoughts to be? All right, guys. Well, that is it. I don't want to bore you with any more of that because I can get real cray-cray and real passionate about these kinds of things. But if you guys have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me or DM me. I love you guys. I hope you guys are rocking it out there. I know it's fucking hard right now, but choose what you want to believe about yourself, how you want yourself to be defined, how you identify yourself to you. Not to anything else, to you. Not anything outside of you, to you. And then you will really find what you are capable of. Love you guys. I'll see you next time.